See, this season, again, is not about whether you're a great Democrat,
Right.
a great Christian,
Amen.
or you're a great human being.
Amen.
That's what Dr. King's life is about.
Yeah.
Pushing us to be human.
Amen.
To honor that sacred call that God created us for. And if you cannot honor that sacred call in your life, something is lacking. And I don't care how smart you are, how wise you are, what kind of fellowships you have, and what kind of awards you received, and how many people know you. If your humanity is always the last thing you think about, something is lacking.
Yeah.
This is not about what divides us,
Amen.
but we honor today a man who tried to unite us.
Yes. Amen.
And I'm amazed at how many people in his name want to practice division. We honor one who honored the carpenter and took those teachings seriously. And maybe that's the call today. It is not to just remember. Maybe the call is to embody. Maybe it's not just to say thank you, Dr. King, but maybe it's to ask yourself, am I walking in the tradition that pushes me to be my best self? Your legacy will not be the things you leave behind. Your estate planning, your possessions. Your legacy will come one way, by the people you invest in.
Amen.
The lives you've transformed. The people you have helped and healed and brought closer to wholeness. I am weary of ceremonies that have lost their meaning. I am weary of religious rituals that don't impress God. I am weary of language that sounds good, but actions that betray the language.
Wow.
Are you human? Do you take your humanity seriously? Your criticism of our president can't just be because you don't like his ideas. It's because his policies and his practice undermine humanity. You can sit in the White House and see news of families who are losing homes because of your shutdown.
Yes. Amen.
You see families that now must go to food pantries and get enough to eat. Would you hold on to the idea of something that divides? I don't have to question your politics. I question your humanity. How can you see suffering and turn off the TV? How can you hear crying and turn to deaf ears? It ain't your politics or your religion that's in question. It's your humanity. And when it becomes easy to act inhumanely, enshrouded in powerless principles, something is wrong. And can I really get this to you? I didn't mean to talk about him this much, but there's so many people who talk about the president. But you know the truth is, the president is not a problem, he's a reflection.
Wow. Yes.
He's a reflection of the culture.
Come on now.
Only in a narcissistic, self-engrossed, self-aggrandizing culture can a pathological narcissist become president.
You better preach that. Yes, sir.
It's deeper than one person.
Yes, it is.
It's about what is happening to our world.
Yes, yes.
And it's not just here, it's all across the world. You see the political landscape and cultural landscape. It's happening. We have a deep human crisis. Last week, I'm really done. I told you just reflections today. Last week at church, I was preaching, and Pastor Willie, there was a series, many of you know about it, a few years ago on the History Channel, the Bible. Remember that? They were giving in visual form the stories of all the Bible, Genesis through. And the creators took some liberties, which I didn't have a problem with, because I think one of the things that are lacking today is imagination.
Sure.
We know how to follow orders, but we don't know how to unleash our creativity.
Yes.
I mean, think about it. You and I are the reflections of a creative and imaginative God, and we're afraid to use our own.
Yes.
We are a result of the creative imagination of a divine God
Yeah.
who always sees possibility and potential, not what you present before God. Well, the writers took liberties, and there were critiques I had, but there was one scene where they took liberties. And I mean, they completely changed the biblical narrative. But I wasn't mad, because I understood the point. It was a scene I alluded to earlier when Jesus told Peter and Andrew to go out into the deep, drop their nets. Well, the Bible series, if you ever watched it, Jesus doesn't tell them that. He's in the boat with them, and he says, go out a little further. And he doesn't tell them to drop their nets. Watch this. Jesus reaches over into the water and starts stirring the sea. And as he stirs it, the fish start jumping into the boat. Peter says, I'm not worthy. Jesus doesn't ask him about his worthiness or his sin. He asked a question. He said, do you want to change the world? Now, you may say, my God, what a profound thing. That's the question I ask you today. You will not change the world by your political ambitions, by your religious ceremonies. Do you want to change this world? Now, you may be saying that, hey, Pastor, we in Pleasantville, New Jersey. You may be looking at your own position thinking it's not that significant, and that the crisis this world faces are so daunting, so overwhelming. How can I make an impact? You can see yourself having an impact in your social networks, in your church. You can see yourself having an impact. But how can I make an impact on the world? I don't know how, but I want to push you this way. If a carpenter and a fisherman could have a conversation about changing the world, what are you waiting for? If a carpenter and an uneducated fisherman can have world-changing ambitions, why are you busy making excuses?
Wow.
God did not create you to play small.
Yes.
God did not create you to miss your own significance.
Yes.
If nothing else, this day is about honoring who God is and how God is working through you. And your responsibility is to walk in the fullness of your humanity.
Yes.
Because it is impossible to walk in the fullness of your humanity and not honor the fullness of your God-given divinity.
Yes. Yes.
That's your responsibility.
Yes.
And so on this day, we don't just come to remember about one man. We come to reflect on our communal possibility. And if you don't believe this world can change, stop singing on Sunday. If you don't believe this world can change, stop coming to Bible study. If you don't believe this world can change, stop praying and stop singing. And if you believe that this world can be transformed by the renewal of minds and conviction of character and depth of love and sincerity of your humanity, then you're in the right place today. Because today is about being your best self. Do me a favor, stand on your feet today. Now the words to this song, I want you to hear. I'm going to tell you, like my man Jalen said, him and his dad go to the movies. He confident. And I'm like, I'm a movie head. I watch movies all the time. But these words are interesting before we go into it heavy. Many years ago, there was a movie, you all know, The Passion of the Christ. Mel Gibson, it was a tough movie for many to look at. But there's a scene, Pastor Willie knows the scene, I've said it so many times. There was a scene in this movie where Jesus is carrying the cross, and he's making his way up the way of sorrows. And then he buckles under the weight of the cross, and he is a bloody mess. And just as he collapses to the ground, he collapses right next to an alleyway, and his mother is at the other end. She looks down the alleyway and sees her son bloody and dying. She begins to run down that alley towards Jesus, and as she's running, Mel Gibson has her reflecting back when he was a little boy and he fell. And as she's running to the man, she's also running to the boy. Her son who had fallen when he was a baby and now, as an adult, had fallen under the weight of the cross. And she gets there like a mother, and she collapses in his presence, thinking that as a mother, there's something she can do. And Jesus, according to the directors, looks at his mother, bloody, messy, dying, and says to her, "Mother, I told you, I make all things new." That making all things new sometimes come by treading a path through the blood of the storm. Making all things new means being willing to suffer.
Yes, sir.
Making all things new
Yes.
means being willing to sacrifice.
Yes.
If you're not willing to bleed a little bit, don't lift up the name of God again. If you're not willing to suffer a little bit, don't celebrate his birthday. If you understand that the way is the way of sorrow at times,
Yes.
then you understand what it means to make all things new.
Yes, God.
So as we sing this song together, I want you to think about your own life, and as you join hands with the person next to you, come on, sing that with us.